I don't know if you'd like to speak about the subject from today. I'd like to start it out if you didn't want to give any comment on it.
In the context of what you want to do, is it relevant? I mean,
It's not. I mean, it's going to be shown in 2 or 3 weeks, so it's like giving a comment from the day, and it wouldn't be. Anyway.
Well, you go ahead with what you wanted to do. And
Okay, we'll start with a normal interview, and probably I'm gonna get on the point. Last time I did an interview with Colin and John, and it was when you rehearsed everything for KA and Amnesiac. So musically, what happened afterwards?
pretty much on the same tack, actually.
Yeah.
This whole process, I mean, this process of Kid A and Amnesiac has been going on now for nearly 3 years, from when we first started recording to these live dates now. So, in terms of anything new that's been going on musically, there are some new songs there, but I think we're just getting to the point now where we want to take some time away from it, you know, have 6 months away or so, and then come back with fresh ideas and with a bit of vitality for it. Difference being that this time round, I think when we reached the end of OK Computer, as you could see from meeting people at Azizi, I think we were a bit jaded at that point. We don't feel that way about music this time, do we?
So there's a lot of rumours about Radiohead anyway, so what you're going to do in the future, it's confessed that you're going to do the something for the Olympic Games, for the Winter Games.
I might be wrong, it's being used to sort of, they're running some TV stuff and it's being used as it's kind of like the Olympic song for that thing, you know, it's Olympic human spirit, and it's cool, but you know, I might be wrong. We're not doing something special. It's on the record.
Mm-hmm.
It's on Amnesia,
Which is quite strange, because normally songs for Olympic Games are like Bonnie Tyler kind of stuff.
yeah.
Like, have you been asked and just said, you can use the song, or
They asked us whether they could use the song, and whether we,
Mm.
And furthermore, there's this Marvin Gaye story. I don't know if this is confessed as well, that you're going to do a cover of Marvin Gaye's song for an AIDS benefit album.
No, that's the first I've heard of that.
Okay.
that is a rumour.
Anyway, how did you like the concert today?
Not much to celebrate today, really. But I think, bearing in mind what's gone on today, it's a day which has made no sense, really. So I think you end up doing the things that make sense to you.
Yeah, kind of keep a routine.
Yeah.
And carry on, and maybe sometimes that I don't know. It's really. It's kind of, with a lot of people doing that, it's kind of, because obviously people are aware of what went on and it's on everybody's minds, but sometimes it can kind of help when you get a lot of people together and, you know, you play some songs and you feel better for a bit, and you know, sometimes those things are good when you get people together. You know, there was a lot of emotion tonight, and you know, it was shared, so.
Just to explain our views, because my voice is not going to be in the show. You should probably explain.
After all the events at in America today, at the World Trade Center, Pentagon, you know, I think us playing today, you know, it wasn't meant as in no way was it a mark of disrespect to what's gone on today. You know. But we felt we'd have achieved absolutely nothing if we'd.
Yeah, I mean, there's no point. It'd be terrible to cancel. I mean, you know, that's we get on and we do it, and you know, it's a good distraction, you know, even if it's like, you know, it's a good. I don't really.
We'd have let down a lot of people
are.
tonight.
Yeah.
So I think these people seem to have got something out of that show. So I think we generally felt numb today.
Yeah.
It's probably the feeling throughout the show, but
Yeah.
don't know. What can you say when it doesn't sound trite?
Yeah.
As Tom said on stage, what do you want to say about it? And fucking say nothing.
Yeah. I mean, it's we're all everyone's. It's there's nothing there.
They probably get back to music because I can't say something about it. It's horrible. I went to LA some months ago and we had a Stone Temple Pilots interview there. And Scott Whelan was telling us to turn out the camera because we were talking about your band, about Radiohead. And that was the time when Kid A was just, he had only listened to Kid A. And what he was missing was, he said, it's a great band, I adore this band, but I can't understand why this band does songs when you move away the electronic stuff, the things they work out with sounds. I can't understand why there isn't a song left. Would you agree, or would you say there's no point?
Well, I mean, you said it when you said you'd only listen to the album once. I think if anybody listening to the album once might come to that, to that conclusion. But upon a few more listens, there is form to it. There is sense. Okay, there might not be the classic verse, chorus, middle eight. Now there is a form to it. Like there's, it's just in other forms of music, and I think that's what we were, dance music. A lot of dance music that's not verse, chorus. It's just that we were trying to do something different, and there are songs there. But they're not your 3.5 minute pop song or whatever, or they're not recognisable as what we've done before.
What I read in the past is that the idea of doing Radiohead doing songs is Tom come in with his acoustic guitar and playing them, and then you would start to create ideas which could be easier, which could be difficult. Do you think that it was different on Kid A and Amnesiac? The development of the songs.
Completely.
And how was it?
Well, I mean, the way we did songs before were, Tom would come with an acoustic, on the Benz and OK Computer, and we'd play it up as a band and start arranging it in right parts. Then we go out on the road and usually tour those songs, then come back into the studio and play them live and record them. This is completely different. I mean, Tom didn't come in with an acoustic guitar for a lot of them, and we started building songs in the studio that we hadn't rehearsed, and so it's the method was completely different, and that's why it sounds different. If you have a lot of it's in the methodology, the setup. If you have a different setup, if you work in a different way than the music, it will sound different. So we shed loads of our previous working practices in the way it was shake the barrel up and see what happens, and that's hard.
It's interesting now.
Yeah.
I mean, there's many actual bands talking about Can and talking about Neu and talking about this German kind of music, but I guess one of the few bands you really hear some influences on is you. Would you say that you went back to these bands and listened to the bands and that influenced them, that these bands influenced you, or?
Yeah, I mean there's some tracks which are even kind of direct, not copies, but
They're reference points.
Very, very much reference points. And there's one of the B-sides called Cut Tooth, which.
It's a Neu.
Yeah, it is.
So it's trying to be Neu.
There's a Neu groove going on there.
I think it's interesting that it was probably that Neu track that we was on Neu 2, and Neu 1, the first track on it, and also for Emma on Neu 2. But they were the tracks probably in that period. One of the very few tracks that we all agreed on. That we were totally all into. you know, and it was really, you know, personally speaking, it was really important for me to hear that stuff, you know, it's, like that track is because I wasn't into music, you know, and that's one of the few things that was really exciting. It was still, you know, sounded fresh and exciting, and can we make music like that, you know?
The way to play drums to this kind of music, is it absolutely different? Did you have to invent a new style in playing drums, or is it the same way? It's just you have to think about the rhythm.
There's more of an emphasis on the rhythms this time around, wasn't there? And I think you know our approach was finding a good pattern. You know, generally in the past you've had these great dynamics going on in the songs, and you kind of accentuate that with drums, but just trying to find these grooves which you could actually provide like a basis for a song to be built on.
And the album was so much. The albums were so much more sort of bass and drums, rhythm driven than we've ever done before.
And also bringing in program stuff.
Yeah,
as well,
exactly.
doing stuff on the AAS.
Yeah.
Tom doing stuff on.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, we just, as with everything, I think we try to keep us open in mind towards how we can generate rhythms, whatever.
There was a night quote of a friend of mine. We watched the concert together, and he said, "It's really nice that there is a band like Radiohead who can do these kind of songs and can perform them in front of 10,000 people. If 90 or 95% of any other band would do such an album, nobody would listen to it, probably. What do you think? Do you have to have this background to have the possibility to do such an album?
Yeah, you do. You really do.
Yeah, I don't think.
Sorry. You kind of it's the thing that after a record like OK Computer, it's giving you something that you know that the next album that you release, people are going to listen to it, and hopefully they'll listen to it a few times, having realised the kind of band that we are. You know that OK Computer takes a few listens to get into, and yeah, totally. I think you sort of, and for us it was like, right, you know, we really can make any record we want to make. This is a chance. There aren't any pressures from the record company. There aren't any pressures to sell. It's like, and that's when it's really it's actually really empowering. It's scary as well because you've got all this freedom. You can take as long as you want. You can do it how you want. There are no, but it's you've got to do it. I think we felt we had to do it, and it was really hard. But
yeah, also because you think it without those constraints, and it shows in a way you have that anxiety. Well, I'm actually good enough to do this as well, because there isn't anything that's just saying you've got to do this in a certain time, so you have to make do. It shows up how good you are.
That's right. And you like the comparison with someone like Bowie. When you think of Bowie in the 70s, and you think of like, well, hang on a sec, we're in a situation where we can do a Bowie, and how good are you actually in the scheme of things? How do you compare yourself with people like these great artists that you admire, and then suddenly you've got the opportunity to do what some of these people have done. It's like, fuck, you've got to, you have to do it. And the thing is that you go out on a limb, and some people really don't like you for doing that. They really don't like you for doing that. But the people who do like you are I think they realise that, hang on a sec, that's a really bold, brave move, and I like this record, and they're serious about what they're doing. They're on a journey, because like we're all interested in bands and musicians who are on some kind of a journey. We like to see how bands develop when we're fans of the band. So yeah.
And there are people out there who are much more out there than we are as well. So, it's how we can actually, bring that back into our band setup. Really, I think. That's how we could marry all the different things together.
And also that whole thing as well. Like you take some, the obscure electronic or whatever and stuff you've been listening to. When you can. What we're really good at is sounds and melodies, and when you can harness those elements and then put melodies on them, it's like, well, if you've got Tom singing on them, it's like, and that's how you make it your own. So that's how you're different from everyone else. So you're not like that electronica. You're not like that. You know, you keep aiming and you miss, but in missing you find your own thing.
Yeah.
And that's what Lennon said, and it's true.
So let's take Bowie in the 70s, let's take Metal by Pink Floyd, and let's take the Satanic Majestic Request by the Rolling Stones. And probably let's have a kind of view what followed them. I mean, the Stones, at least 2 or 3 albums later, they were doing rock stuff again.
Well, they were making their best albums though, about an album, 2 albums later, I think. You know, Let It Bleed and Sticky Fingers was, you know, the Stones at their height. You know, it was rocky, but they found their groove, they found their swagger. You know, even Exile on Main Street and stuff.
Well, what did they say? Is there many bands are proved to do this experience stuff? I would never say you would, but they come back to the traditional thing. Would you say that there is no? Well, what is your view forward?
I don't think you know, I mean, if you look at songs which we did within the sessions, things like Optimistic, How to Disappear, Knives Out, you know, there's quite a lot of songs there which actually fall into, you know, a more accepted way that Radiohead work or something. So, you know, we still respond, we still get excited about those elements, but we're not actually going to say, okay, let's go ahead and make our rock album again. It's not that. As you know, we do need that kind of breadth in what we're doing to actually keep us interested when we're working. So I mean, I think that's how we'll carry on. There will be that. You know, we will put our feelers out into lots of areas, I think.
What's special in Rickenbacker guitars?
What's special?
Yeah.
Ed plays them. What could be more special than that?
They're the first guitar I bought when we signed as a band. You get given the money as a Rickenbacker, and you know, it's just they're so unique. They sound very distinctive, and they look the coolest guitar out. I mean, you know, Pete Townsend, Johnny Marr, Peter Buck, you know, you, yeah, and Rickenbackers, Roger McGuinn. They were a great guitar.
What contemporary music do you listen to?
Oh, that's always the question, like, you know, when you go to a record store that you can't remember.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, loads. We've got Peaches. You like Peaches? It's great. Ryan Adams. Not Brian.
Ryan.
Okay. Not Brian. God, no.
Not recently.
Not recently. When do you? What else? I've got the new Björk album. Been listening to that. Strokes. Strokes album. Yeah.
If you have one, I'd like to have one quote on the Strokes album. What's special on the Strokes album?
I think it's a good debut record. I like the sound. I've been listening to it a lot since you said I got it with you, and it is. It's a good debut record, and there's been a lot of hype about them, but you know they sound good. It sounds like it's a tight band.
I'm quite prudish about it. I bought it for my 11-year-old nephew.
Really?
And when I got it home, I hadn't looked at the cover when it was from the shop. I brought it back home, and it came. My wife looked at it and said, "You can't give this to an 11-year-old." So he didn't get it, unfortunately. I've got to tape it for him.
Yeah, like the bass parts on that first song.
Yeah.
I guess that was it. I kind of. If you wouldn't have anything to say more.
No. I don't think any of us do we?
No. Yeah, it's enough for me to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Thanks very much. Thanks for, thank you for coming on.